Hey, what's going on YouTube? True Blue Car Collector here. We got a PSA reveal as well as an Upper Deck replacement mail day that we're going to kind of roll into one. We got some CGC cards coming back. We're recording this on Saturday. On Monday, we got a big stack of CGC cards coming back. That's 41 cards, so we'll do that on a completely separate video. But I want to show you what we got here with our recent PSA subs. Nothing super big. The grades on them weren't overall the best ones in the world, but some of them were for our own collections and some of them were for, just kind of trying to flip and didn't quite get the grades we were looking for on them. But let's show you what we got. Let's start with our Upper Deck Mail Day replacement. So this isn't the PMG replacement that we had from Spider-Man Metal. This is a box of X-Men Metal replacement where all of our base cards were essentially completely miscut. So what I'm talking about there, and I don't have any metal cards right here with me, but I'll just pull a card up and kind of give you an example. So imagine this card is a Spider-Man Metal card, and the card shifted. So they have the name, or the X-Men Metal has the nameplate over here for the characters for the low series cards. All the cards were shifted over to where that nameplate was almost missing completely on this side, and then you had the other card that was next to it starting over on this side. So out of the box of X-Men Metal that we opened, and you guys can see the video for that, we'll pop that up in the corner there. Yeah, all those were just completely miscut. So we sent all those in. Now granted, they're just base cards, so they don't have a ton of value to them. However, it would have been nice to have those. Now we do have our entire base set for X-Men Metal, so it wasn't a big deal. And of course, you're not guaranteed to get like-for-like replacement with Upper Deck either. But this took about a little over a month, I would say. This was probably about 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks from the time we shipped it to the month and a half, going on 2 months now, closer to 7 weeks. Yeah, because we shipped it right near the end part of August, like that last week of August, and then we just got this back on Friday the 21st, or Thursday the 20th, sorry. But show you what we got as a replacement for all of those low series cards that were miscut. We had a couple 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men cards, gold foils, Mesmero. I think I'm saying that right. Not sure. These are numbered out of 99, so 67 out of 99. That one I looked it up. It's about a $9 to $10 card there. And then the Iceman gold foil from 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men. Again, 54 out of 99. So those are the two replacement cards we got for all of those low series cards that we sent in. This one is about a $15 card. Some days it's a $20 card. So we got about 30-ish, I'd say, $25 to $30-ish dollars in return is what they were kind of determining those base cards at. I don't remember the exact number of base cards that we sent in. It was a substantial amount though. It wasn't every low series card out of that box, but it was a good amount of them. Today's prices on those base cards, probably pretty close to fair, I would say, without going through and looking every single card up. There wasn't any like big names in there, like the Wolverines weren't in there. There wasn't anything huge that had to get set in to get replaced. So we weren't really missing out on much with that either. So, I mean, happy to have those. Those will go in our Fleer Ultra X-Men collection now. So we'll have those in our binders and stuff. So, but let's get into this. We got 5 sports cards, and then we got a bunch of X-Men. And we'll show you kind of what we got here. So this first one here, this is a Jalen Green Prism, 2021 Prism. This one is the Ice. If you remember, we did hit 2 of the Jonathan Kuminga in the Ice, and we got PSA 10s on those. The Jalen Green, we got the PSA 9, which was something we kind of figured. It is off center a little bit, but he is one of the top rookies from that class, so we wanted to get that done up. I did go back and I tried to look at this. Like, these cases scuff so easily if they don't have sleeves on them. And I don't know why PSA doesn't put a sleeve on them to protect them a little bit. Like, this case already has a scuff/scratch in it, and it's just been sitting here. So, it came from PSA like that, which is disappointing. But that's kind of their quality control, right? They have a little bit of a lack when it comes to some of that stuff. So we did try to go back over this and see if we missed something there. I think most of it's just centering. There might be a small print line on there somewhere. Again, we weren't expecting anything super big out of this. We knew these cards were slightly off center, so we figured they were going to get 9s with the chance at being right on that borderline of getting a 10. the rest of the cards look pretty good. So Cade Cunningham, silver, PSA 9, not too bad. Pretty happy about that one. And that one here had a couple of those optic dimples too. So we kind of knew we were getting a 9 on that, but wanted to get that one slabbed up, being the #1 draft pick there. We got Trevor Lawrence Purple Shock, I believe this one is. And I don't know why PSA is not liking our Trevor Lawrence cards, but PSA 8. And this one, again, you know, very slightly off center, but other than that, we didn't really see much of anything. There might be a print line right here, but it's very faint, and it kind of blends in with the rest of the pattern. So, I mean, I can't imagine those two things would knock it all the way down to an 8. There wasn't any issues with the corners. We didn't see any other surface issues or dimples or anything like that. So, not really sure on that one. It is what it is. I mean, not much you can do about it. No point in complaining with PSA about it. Trey Lance Hollow rated rookie from the Optic. It's a shame he's out, but this is a card that you can kind of hold on to for the year. Wait till he comes back next year and see how he performs. PSA 9. So, and we already knew this one. So we got a surface dimple here. There was a couple more surface dimples. Like there's one small one over here, and I think there was one within the field here somewhere too. Oh yeah, right down here at the bottom. That's where it was. So it's kind of crazy. So this one basically was almost perfectly centered. So we got dinged down to a 9 because of those surface dimples. So again, taking this and going, well, why'd this one get an 8 when this one got a 9? It's so hard to say, right? That's the problem, or that's the part of the human element of the grading that can really get to you. Justin Jefferson, downtown. This was our first downtown that we pulled this year. If you remember, we pulled the Trevor Lawrence downtown. Got the PSA 10 on that. Sold that one for $1,850. We sent this Justin Jefferson into grade on a slower return. But we did pull another Jefferson that we sold raw for $340. And then we sold the Jalen Waddle for $350 at the Vegas Card Show. Plus a small trade with that. So Justin Jefferson, downtown, PSA 10, makes this about anywhere between $800 to $1,000, depending what time of the day and what day of the week you sell this on. And if he has a couple big games, who knows, that might pop up again. As recently as middle of September, a couple of these sold for like $1,600. So yeah, so big drop in the prices on that, and those were confirmed as paid through VCP that we use for our card pricing. So now we're getting some Marvel. We have a stack of roughly 16 Marvel cards here. We didn't get a single PSA 10, so don't expect to see those. We just sent a bunch of these in because we wanted to send them in, see how they graded, and kind of add them to our collection of graded stuff for our set. We didn't look too deep at these when we screened them. We just kind of quickly went over the corners and edges and left it at that. So PSA 8, 1992 Marvel Universe Spider-Man. Not too bad for an old paper card like that. So pretty decent. I think most of this is a little bit of corner stuff. Now, surface stuff on this is very hard. Really, I mean, you're just shimmy shining it and seeing and hoping you catch something. You know, it might have a fingerprint or something like that. Because again, we didn't screen these as much as we typically screen them before we send our Marvel cards. But again, we were okay with that. We just wanted to get them graded and slabbed. So this one is Origin of Venom from the 94 Flair. A harder set to grade just because of the coating that's on the face of the card. It kind of has a tendency to curl up as well. We got the PSA 8 94 Flair Venom, and that one is a very sweet looking card. It's one of my favorite Venom cards. I think my all-time favorite is the Maximum Carnage Venom, where he's hanging upside down from the ceiling with the skull and the flames. That one's really sweet. And I kind of have these already in order of grades, so they're going to go up in grade as we go here, except for one card, and we'll talk about that one. The Origin of Spider-Man 2099 PSA 8 as well, 94 Flair. Again, you have those coating issues. You do get like the little lift on the edges, so that might be part of it. These are known for a film on them. Now, we did try to clean that film off as best as we could before we sent these in. Just tough cards to grade. All right, Spider-Man 2099 from 1993 Marvel Masterpieces. We got the PSA 8 on this one, and this one I'm not sure. Some of these masterpiece ones I wasn't sure on, like why they got the grade they got. We went back over them, and there was a couple little specks in the foil. You know, that little tiny spots that might have been missing, but not enough that I think would justify an 8 based on our previous masterpiece returns, where we were getting 9s and 10s. So I do think PSA is cracking down on their grading and trying to become more standardized with how they're doing it, and trying to get their graders to be consistent across the board. Captain America, or with CGC, you know, there's the theory that maybe they want to move away from Marvel, so they're getting tougher and tougher on the grading of the Marvel cards. 1993 Masterpieces Captain America. We did get a PSA 10 in this one previously. And again, looking at this one to me was a 9 grade, because again, it had a couple little specks in the foil that were missing. So again, not sure why we got an 8 there. Tough call, but it is what it is. But it can go in our set collection. So we got the Amazing Spider-Man #1 from 1994 Flair, and this was our worst grade, a PSA 7. And this was very disappointing, because when I compared this card to any of the other 94 Flair cards, even under magnification, there is almost no difference whatsoever between this card and those cards. Like, even if, let's see if we can get a little bit of light on this here, and maybe, so you can see right at the top, you can see that the little change in the reflection. That's that roll up you get with that coating, and that's on every single one of the 1994 Flair cards that we sent in. Even down here at the bottom, you can kind of see how that changes the reflection right down here. That's that coating that curls just a little bit there, but that's like on every single one of these cards. So we're not quite sure why we got an 8 or a 7 on this one versus, you know, an 8 or a 9 like we had received on the other 94 Flairs. But that's okay. So I believe we get into the 9s now. The Deadpool Strikes, 1994 Flair, PSA 9. Cool looking card. Pretty happy about that one. And again, I'll show you with the reflection just so you guys can see that too. So right there at the top, see how that curls up? It's essentially exactly the same as what's on the Spider-Man one. Surface tissue wise, you know, we tried more care on the surface of the 94 Flairs just because of the coating. They do maintain a film. But Wolverine versus Hulk, PSA 9. That is a sweet card. We're in the process of picking this one up in the comic book as well, so we can have that for our collection. But again, you can see that lift up right there on the edge that you're going to get with these older 94 Flair cards, just because of the, again, it's just the coating that's on the card causes that. So a few more here. We got Maximum Carnage card, Venom, Spider-Man, and Carnage, PSA 9, 1994 Flair. Really, really sweet looking card. Spider-Man, PSA 8. So these next 6 are going to be 3 cards, just 2 versions of each. One in the PSA 9 and one in the PSA 8. So we got the Spider-Man, PSA 8. Couple small flecks here, but nothing that would stand out as significant enough to warrant the 8, in my opinion, based on how they graded the other cards. So we'll just kind of set that there. We got the Venom in the PSA 8 as well. We got the Wolverine in the PSA 8. And then we have the Spider-Man in the PSA 9. We have the Venom in the PSA 9. And again, when I compare these cards to each other under magnification, they look almost identical with the exact same issues and the exact same quantities. And we talked about this in some of our other videos and on a couple live streams about sending the same cards in. And usually I recommend not doing it, but with these being 3 of the top characters, I wanted to send them in. So it's quite possible we got 8s on one, 9s on the other, because they might have been comparing the cards to each other. Like if this one was just like 1 or 2 very, very small specs more than this one, they said, well, you know, we're giving this one a 9, so we got to give this one an 8. You know, that's a possibility. But either way, we're happy to have those in our collection. We were joking with a couple of our buddies that now that we have the 9s and the 8s, we got to send in a bunch of cards with a note to say just wreck these cards just enough, so that way we get the 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we can pursue the 10, and then have the entire run of these 3 characters, 1 through 10. That, I think that'd be really cool if somebody could accomplish that. I mean, I wouldn't want to pay the grading fee to have them do that, but or to get the 1. You know, that'd be kind of very disappointing. But it'd be kind of a cool little display to have it 1 through 10, I think. So there you go, guys. That's our reveal. A few of these cards are going to be hitting the market, so if you're interested in any of these, check us out over on eBay. We're TBC Breaks over there as well. Save us as a seller, and you'll probably see a few of these cards pop up over there every now and then. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed our reveal. Stay tuned. We got a 41 card CGC reveal coming up. That's our first CGC submission for Marvel. And those cards will be back on Monday, so that video will probably be coming out on Tuesday or Wednesday. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch all of you on the next video. Bye.